Welcome to Goalie's Pip Academy. Imagine climbing aboard a train, settling into your seat by the window, and watching the world roll by. Not just for a few hours, not even for a whole day, but for an entire week. That's right. Some train journeys are so long, they can take days to complete. But why would anyone take a train for that long? And which train rides are the longest in the world? Buckle up. Wait, actually, unbuckle, because we're taking a deep dive into the world's longest train journeys. Let's start with the big one, the Trans-Siberian Railway. This is the longest train ride in the world. It stretches across Russia, covering a mind-blowing 5,772 miles, or 9,289 kilometers. If you hopped on in Moscow and stayed on board the whole time, it would take you about 7 days to reach the final stop in Vladivostok. That's a full week of chugging past forests, mountains, rivers, and tiny villages. You'd see everything from snowy landscapes to sunny grasslands, all without ever leaving your train car. But how do people survive on a train for a whole week? Well, these trains are built for long trips. There are sleeping compartments, dining cars where you can grab a hot meal, and even showers so you can stay fresh. Some trains even have entertainment like Wi-Fi and small libraries. It's like a moving hotel that never stops, except at stations to pick up more passengers, of course. Now let's take a look at another incredible train journey, the Canadian. This train crosses Canada from Toronto to Vancouver, covering 2,775 miles, 4,466 kilometers, in 4 days. Along the way, you'll see some of the most beautiful landscapes in North America: towering Rocky Mountains, endless prairies, and deep forests filled with wildlife. People on this train often spot moose, bears, and even eagles from their windows. All right, time for a quick quiz. Let's see if you've been paying attention. Quiz number 1. True or false? The Trans-Siberian Railway is the longest train journey in the world and takes about a week to complete. If you said true, then well done. That's right. The Trans-Siberian Railway is the longest train ride on Earth, stretching across Russia and taking about 7 days from start to finish. Now, let's head to another part of the world, Australia. The Indian Pacific is a legendary train that travels from Sydney on the east coast all the way to Perth on the west coast. That's a 2,704-mile, 4,352-kilometer journey. It takes about 4 days to cross the entire country. One of the coolest parts of this ride? It crosses the Nullarbor Plain, a completely flat desert with no trees for miles and miles. The train even travels on the longest stretch of straight track in the world, 297 miles, 478 kilometers, without a single curve. If you're looking for an even more luxurious train experience, let's talk about the Blue Train in South Africa. This train runs between Pretoria and Cape Town, covering 994 miles, 1,600 kilometers, in about 31 hours. Now, this might not be the longest train journey, but it's definitely one of the fanciest. The Blue Train is like a 5-star hotel on wheels. Passengers get their own private cabins with butlers, gourmet meals, and even marble-tiled bathrooms. If you want to travel in style, this is the way to do it. Of course, not all long train rides are about luxury. Some are used for important transportation. In China, the Z264 train runs from Guangzhou in the south to Lhasa in Tibet, covering 3,094 miles, 4,980 kilometers, and climbing up some of the highest mountains in the world. It takes about 55 hours to complete the journey, but it's worth it for the breathtaking views of the Tibetan Plateau. Now, let's test your knowledge again with another quiz. Quiz number 2. Which of these trains crosses a desert with the longest straight track in the world? A. The Trans-Siberian Railway. B. The Indian Pacific. C. The Blue Train. D. The Canadian. If you said B, the Indian Pacific, then well done. That's right. This train crosses the Australian desert and travels along the longest straight stretch of track in the world. Train travel isn't just about getting from one place to another. It's an adventure. These long train rides show us just how big and beautiful our world is. Whether you're rolling past icy landscapes in Russia, spotting wild animals in Canada, or crossing the outback in Australia, each journey has something special to offer. So, the next time you see a train go by, think about where it might be headed. Maybe it's just going to the next town over. Or maybe, just maybe, it's off on an epic journey across an entire continent.
Is your little one working on finding their words? You're not alone in this journey. At Goalie, we've developed a speech and language system to support early learners. Our goal? To help kids learn their first 50 words. Here's what makes Goalie special. Interactive apps designed by expert speech therapists. We make ad-free content like this one to support our learning, and our app for parents lets you track your child's progress. Every child develops at their own pace, and Goalie is here to provide that extra boost. Our system has already helped thousands of families across America to support their children's communication skills. Visit getgoalie.com today and use the code YouTube10 for 10% off your first purchase. Again, that's getgoalie.com to give your learner a boost in speech.
Trains are some of the most powerful, fastest, and incredible machines on Earth. Some glide like rockets on rails, while others climb mountains or travel deep underground. Today, we're counting down the top 10 coolest trains in the world. Get ready for mind-blowing facts, super speedy engines, and even a train that floats above the tracks. Number 10, the Glacier Express. This train might not be the fastest, but it offers one of the most beautiful journeys. The Glacier Express travels through the Swiss Alps, taking passengers on an incredible trip over bridges, through tunnels, and past snowy mountains. The journey takes about 8 hours, but every second is worth it because the views are amazing. Number 9, the Shanghai Maglev. Now let's shift from scenic to super fast. The Shanghai Maglev in China is one of the fastest trains in the world. It doesn't even touch the tracks. Instead, it floats above them using magnets. This train can reach speeds of 268 miles per hour, 431 kilometers per hour. That's faster than most race cars. How? The train uses magnetic levitation, or maglev, to lift off the tracks, reducing friction and allowing it to zoom at incredible speeds. Number 8, the bullet train, Shinkansen. Japan is famous for its Shinkansen, or bullet trains. These trains are super sleek, shaped like an airplane nose, and can reach speeds of 200 to 320 kilometers per hour, 125 to 200 miles per hour. They are known for their punctuality and safety, making travel between cities fast and reliable. Number 7, the Hogwarts Express, for all the Harry Potter fans. The Hogwarts Express is a real train called the Jacobite Steam Train. It runs through Scotland and looks just like the magical train from the movies. It even crosses a famous bridge, the Glenfinnan Viaduct, which you might recognize from the films. It's not the fastest train, but it might be the most magical. Quiz time. True or false? The Shanghai Maglev train floats above the tracks instead of rolling on wheels. If you said true, then well done. That's right. The Shanghai Maglev uses magnets to lift off the ground, making it one of the fastest trains in the world. Okay, moving forward. Number 6, the Trans-Siberian Railway. This is the longest train journey in the world. The Trans-Siberian Railway stretches across Russia for over 5,700 miles, 9,200 kilometers. That's about the same as driving all the way across the United States twice. If you took the full journey from start to finish, it would take over a week without stopping. That's one long train ride. Number 5. The Polar Express. Wait, isn't that a storybook train? Yes. But the Polar Express is also a real train ride in the US and Canada during the holiday season. It's designed to look just like the one in the movie, complete with Christmas lights, hot chocolate, and even a visit from Santa Claus. Number 4. The TGV, Train à Grande Vitesse. France's TGV is one of the fastest trains in Europe. It can reach speeds of 357 miles per hour, 574 kilometers per hour. This train is so fast, people in France can travel from one city to another in just a few hours. Number 3. The Flying Scotsman. The Flying Scotsman is one of the most famous steam trains in the world. It was the first train to travel 100 miles per hour, 161 kilometers per hour, way back in 1934. Even though modern trains are faster, the Flying Scotsman is still a huge attraction and is often seen chugging through the English countryside. Quiz time. Which train holds the record for the longest journey in the world? A. The Hogwarts Express. B. The Bullet Train. C. The Trans-Siberian Railway. D. The Polar Express. If you said C, the Trans-Siberian Railway, then well done. That's right. It's the longest railway journey in the world, taking over a week to complete. Number 2, the Hyperloop, future train. Now, let's talk about the train of the future. The Hyperloop isn't fully built yet, but it's designed to travel at over 700 miles per hour, 1,127 kilometers per hour. But how does it work? Instead of wheels, the train will move through a special tube with almost no air inside, reducing friction and letting it zoom faster than ever before. Number 1, the Orient Express. This is one of the most legendary trains ever. The Orient Express was famous for carrying rich passengers across Europe in luxury. It had fancy dining cars, soft beds, and beautiful decorations. Some people even call it the world's most glamorous train. Today, new versions of the Orient Express are still running, letting people experience its old-world charm. Trains come in all shapes and sizes, from the super-fast maglev to the steam-powered Flying Scotsman. Some can travel thousands of miles, while others use futuristic technology to float above the tracks. Which train do you think is the coolest? Let us know. And don't forget to keep an eye out for the trains of the future. Maybe one day, we'll all be riding in a Hyperloop. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Is your little one working on finding their first words? You're not alone in this journey. At Goalie, we've developed a speech and language system to support early language learners. Our goal is to help kids learn their first 50 words. Here's what makes Goalie special. First is we have interactive apps designed by expert speech therapists. We make ad-free content like this to support learning. And lastly, our app for parents lets you track your child's progress. Every child develops at their own pace, and at Goalie, we're here to provide that extra boost. Our system has already helped thousands of families across America support their kids' communication needs. Visit getgoalie.com and use code YouTube10 for 10% off your first purchase. Again, that's getgoalie.com to give your learner a boost in speech.
Whoosh! Did you hear that? That was the sound of one of the fastest trains in the world speeding by. Imagine standing on a platform, watching a train zoom past so fast that in just a few seconds, it's completely gone. But how fast do you think a train can really go? 50 miles per hour? 100 miles per hour? Try 375 miles per hour. That's faster than a Formula One race car. Trains have been around for over 200 years, but they weren't always fast. The very first trains moved at just 5 miles per hour. That's slower than a person running. But today, thanks to technology and engineering, we have super speedy trains that can cross entire countries in just a few hours. So how do these futuristic trains work? How can something so big move so fast? And what are the fastest trains in the world right now? We're going to dive into all of that, and along the way, you'll get to test your train knowledge with 2 fun quizzes. So sit back and get ready, because we're about to speed into the future of transportation. Before we get into the super speedy ones, let's go back in time. The first real train was built in 1804 by an engineer named Richard Trevithick. It was powered by steam, which means it needed a big fire to heat up water, turning it into steam that pushed the train forward. Sounds slow, right? Well, it was. These early steam trains only traveled at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. But then came the Industrial Revolution, and people started improving train designs. By the early 1900s, steam locomotives could reach speeds of 100 miles per hour, which was a big deal back then. The world's fastest steam train was called the Mallard, and in 1938, it set a record of 126 miles per hour. That's still the fastest speed ever recorded for a steam train. Now let's talk about the fastest of the fast. Here are the top contenders for the speed crown. 1. The L0 Series Maglev, Japan. The L0 Series Maglev in Japan holds the world record for the fastest train ever tested. In April 2015, this futuristic train reached 375 miles per hour, 603 kilometers per hour. That's about 6 times faster than most highway speed limits. Japan is building a new railway that will use these trains to connect Tokyo and Nagoya, cutting the travel time in half. 2. The Shanghai Maglev, China. The Shanghai Maglev in China is the fastest train you can ride today. It reaches 268 miles per hour, 431 kilometers per hour, and connects Shanghai's airport to the city center in just 7 minutes. If you drove the same distance, it would take about an hour in traffic. The train is so smooth and silent that passengers barely feel like they're moving. 3. The TGV, France. The Train à Grande Vitesse, TGV, which means high-speed train in French, holds the world record for the fastest wheeled train. In 2007, it reached 357 miles per hour, 574 kilometers per hour. Unlike maglev trains, this one still has wheels, but it's designed with special aerodynamic features to keep it on the tracks at such high speeds. The CRRC Qingdao Xifang 2021 Maglev China recently introduced a new maglev train capable of reaching 373 miles per hour, 600 kilometers per hour. If it enters full service, it will challenge Japan's maglev for the title of fastest passenger train in the world. Time for a quiz. Quiz 1. True or false? Japan has the fastest train in the world. If you said true, then well done. That's right. The L0 Series Maglev in Japan holds the world record for the fastest train ever tested. Modern high-speed trains work very differently. Instead of burning coal or wood like old steam trains, today's fastest trains use electricity. That makes them quieter, cleaner, and much, much faster. Now you might be wondering, how do these trains stay on the tracks when going so fast? Wouldn't they just zoom off around a curve? Great question. High-speed trains use aerodynamics, which means they're shaped like an airplane to cut through the air smoothly. They also have special track designs that tilt slightly on turns, keeping the train balanced. Believe it or not, scientists are working on even faster trains. One idea is called the Hyperloop, a train that travels inside a sealed tube with almost no air resistance. This could make trains go over 600 miles per hour. Companies like Elon Musk's SpaceX and Virgin Hyperloop are already testing this technology. Another exciting future train idea is the Swiss Metro, which would travel in underground vacuum tunnels to reduce air resistance and reach speeds of over 500 miles per hour. Imagine zooming across a country in minutes. Okay, time for another quiz. Quiz 2, multiple choice. Where does the Hyperloop train travel? A. On roads. B. In the sky. C. Inside a tube. D. Underwater. If you said C, inside a tube, then well done. That's right. The Hyperloop travels in a special tube to go super fast. Time for some fun train facts. 1. The word train comes from a French word meaning to pull. 2. The longest train ever recorded was 4.57 miles long. It had 682 cars and was used to transport iron ore in Australia. 3. The fastest subway train is in China. It reaches 217 miles per hour, 350 kilometers per hour, underground. 4. A Japanese bullet train, the Shinkansen, has a special duckbill-shaped nose to reduce noise when entering tunnels at high speed. Okay, let's wrap this up. Speed, technology, and smart engineering have turned trains into some of the most amazing machines in the world. Whether they float on magnets or race on wheels, high-speed trains are the future of travel. Who knows? Maybe one day you'll ride a train so fast it will feel like teleporting. Until then, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep learning about the amazing world of science and technology.
Is your little one working on finding their words? You're not alone in this journey. At Goli, we've developed a speech and language system to support early learners. Our goal? To help kids learn their first 50 words. Here's what makes Goli special. Interactive apps designed by expert speech therapists. We make ad-free content, like this one, to support learning. Our app for parents lets you track your child's progress. Every child develops at their own pace, and Goli is here to provide that extra boost. Our system has already helped thousands of families across America support their children's communication skills. Visit getgoli.com today and use code YouTube10 for 10% off your first purchase. Again, that's getgoli.com to give your learner a boost in speech.